Welcome back to the Scorching Hot Takes podcast. Today we'll be doing a follow-up video to our last video, which was a top 5 Pink Floyd's albums, and now we're going to be doing our top 10 Pink Floyd songs. We're going to get straight into this business, and Sam's going first.
First of all, I just want to say this has been the hardest list to make so far.
It has been horrendous.
And there's going to be some takes in here. Well, if it's in your list and it's not in mine, that I'm going to be fully supporting it still, because there's so many that are just around like the 10 mark.
You think there's going to be ones that are in my list that aren't in yours that you'll support?
Yes.
Do you not think there'll be any that are in mine that you're not?
Well, yeah, I was starting off on a positive note. There will be some absolute scorches in yours, I'm sure, as per usual. And probably maybe in mine. I actually think mine is probably a bit scorching as well, but that's fine. We'll live up to the name. First of all, maybe slightly low. Number 10 for me is Wish You Were Here.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you don't seem too impressed.
No, that's... Do you talking, man?
So, lyrically, I love it. And I also like that instrumentally, it allows the vocals to really be the star power. Great quotables on the song as well.
Yeah.
And also, even though it's a bit more of a minimal approach with the instrumental, it's absolutely perfection. And that guitar chord is so iconic. Definitely had to make the top 10. I think some people will maybe argue it should be higher. And I wouldn't be mad to see it higher. I just think in terms of the Pink Floyd that I like has a bit more of an expansive soundscape, and Wish You Were Here is more minimal, but it's simple and effective.
My hours by my elbow. My number 10 is Pillow of Winds.
Okay. I was expecting to see that come up.
It's my, definitely one of my favourite folkier, acoustic-based of the Pink Floyd discography. I think it is beautifully written. Sonically, it is just such a soft and nice, warm atmosphere. I don't have any criticisms for it at all, and I wanted it to make it because it's just a personal favourite of mine. In terms of just instrumentally, it's just soft and flowing and beautiful. And I think it's very much an underrated Pink Floyd one.
Yeah, no, I can get behind that. I think that one's a bit more of a personal preference thing.
Yeah.
I don't really have any like negative things to make, like negative comments to say about the song, but I think for my personal taste, that isn't going to be making it. But I'm not mad for you having it in there. Yeah. As long as Seamus doesn't make it higher up, then we'll be all right. I don't want to see that.
That is fine.
Number 9 for me.
Yeah.
Pigs, 3 different ones.
Okay.
First Animals one. We'll have to see if any more make it. I think this song really, and I mean all the songs on Animals do a really good job at this. But in terms of meeting the sonic concept with the lyrical focus of the song, the talkbox guitar is genius. I know you're not a big fan of it, but I just love how much it sounds like a pig. I love the sort of ignorant, fat groove of the song as well, that you thought was a little bit tiresome. But in my opinion, it really just sort of encapsulates everything you want from the concept as well, where you're thinking about this sort of big greedy man digging his head into bins, wanting more. It just has a greed about it. And also, not going to overlook this guitar solo at the end of the song is top 3 in Pink Floyd's discography, hands down. Hands down. I don't even think that's a bad take. It's so electrifying. Yeah. And also, this song as well, just with the instrumentation, about the whole Animals theme, got the cowbell in there, even though it's not a pig. You just really feel drawn into this Animals concept, and I love what the pig song does right in the middle of the album for Animals. So yeah, number 9 for me.
Valid. Okay. My number 9. One of These Days.
Really? Oh, okay. So two from Medals to start us off.
I really hope the microphone isn't picking up my stomach grumbles. Just I'm so hungry. Yeah. Definitely up there with being one of my favourite Pink Floyd. It's a contender for best Pink Floyd album intro.
No, definitely. But I think we might see the
anyway. Just it's absolute. I don't know how to describe it. It's just rocking.
It is rocking.
It's just hard. It's so good, and that it don't need any lyrics. Fine, completely fine as an instrumental build up. I have literally just drums are Nick Mason's doing his absolute work on this one. Perfect intro to metal. Into. I've only done metal so far. Is that going to continue?
I'm hoping that Echoes might land higher.
Okay,
I'm hoping, because that would be that would be hot to...
Again, don't see many people saying that's in their top 10 Pink Floyd songs.
No, that's true.
I think it should be.
I think maybe it just gets overlooked because it's just instrumental.
Yeah.
But like it's a really captivating instrumental,
so
though.
Thick and heavy. It's so good.
Like chainsaw motorbike guitars are so like...
Yeah. It's very good.
Fierce. I love it, yeah.
The fierce one.
Good take. Good take.
Thank you.
Yeah. So for me, number 8 is Us and Them.
Okay.
The Dark Side of the Moon.
The dark side of it, not the light.
I don't know. This song, I feel, is underrated. I mean, I feel it sort of gets its flowers. No one really says anything bad about the song. Mm-hmm. But it's also, I don't know that it's really ever like held in such a high regard. Maybe because the Dark Side of the Moon, like there's so many highs as well. It sort of maybe just gets. I
think it probably was, but maybe now it is less because it was it was Money and Us and Them were the singles from Dark Side of the Moon. So I think Us and Them was probably quite a popular one.
Just in current music discourse, I just don't see it getting as much love as I think it deserves. I do think it is a top 10 Pink Floyd song.
Valid.
For me, it's my favourite use of saxophone on any Pink Floyd song.
Ooh, okay.
It's probably also one of the most prominent features of saxophone. Just woven throughout.
I don't know why I'm oohing. That's not a hot take, but there is some other very good saxophone moments.
Don't worry, I'll be bringing them up.
Okay.
But for me, I think it is actually my favourite saxophone performance throughout the whole discography.
Yeah.
I love also the contrast from the verses, how mellow and atmospheric it is. And then you get these massive booming, just like open your lung capacity up and just let it all out choruses. Really good concepts as well for the song as well. And there's just something about like the echo that's so effective on the vocals.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just us.
Yeah. There's just something about that. And it's beautiful. It's like,
it's very nice.
It's like you're drifting off, but then, I don't know. And you sort of drift into the atmosphere at first. Love the way it transitions from Money into Us and Them as well on the album. And it's sort of like a little bit of a breather, but then you just get drawn back in by this chorus. And I love how many times it appears as well. And then you get it just instrumentally as well. It's just really lets sort of all the layers shine because there's so much going on at that point in the song. I had to make my top 10. And it's going at number 8.
I think that's a good
We've been friendly so far. We've been friendly. But I don't know that we're going to fall out about too many because there are so many highs that you kind of can't argue too
The only
much.
thing that I feel like we're going to have a little bit of falling out over is when we get to the end of the list when you realise what's missed out.
Yes.
Because I know you're happy with my take so far, but when you find out that I've put certain things above, like, because there is some things that don't make it. I'll say that now. Some things that will make it for the rest of the world. Okay, do you want to know I'm nearly dropping my list right now. My number 8.
Hit me with it.
Run Like Hell.
I was expected to see this on yours. All right, why is it a top 10 Pink Floyd song?
That jangly, echoed reverb, just drenched in nice, sparkly guitar tone. Just perfect. It's so good. Again, I like this one a lot because when Nick Mason is doing his proper rocky drums, just gets me going. Catchy, simple but very effective, and it's just that guitar tone. It's so infectious, and it's a good kitchen disco one. I'll tell you that.
Yes, it is a great kitchen disco song and a mainstay in the rotation for that. Definitely can back that.
I don't actually have loads to say about it because it's not a very complex song with like loads. I mean, obviously, it's part of the concept of the wall and everything, but like in terms of it's not like on some other albums where it's a 20-minute track with loads of different stages. It's kind of quite repetitive, but works so well. Simple and effective is the best way to
actually
describe
argue as well, one of Roger Waters' best vocal performances.
Agreed, yeah, because sometimes I'm definitely more of a David vocal fan than a Roger one. But yeah, I definitely agree.
And also I like the way that it's sort of, if you listen with headphones on, it's panned, so it echoes and it's delayed when you listen across, and it just sort of gets you more like in the feel of it. Definitely a good placement. I was expecting to see it on your list.
It reminds me of U2 for some reason.
Yeah.
I think it's the guitar tone.
Yeah. I sort of get that feel.
It's really edgish, I think.
Good take.
Okay.
What are we on now?
7.
Number 7. So, this is where we are going to see
how good friends we are.
Echoes for me. Echoes has to make a top 10. It is a masterpiece. for 23 minutes to keep you engaged the whole way through is just saying something for a start. It is a masterpiece.
Yeah, agreed.
I think also for Percy Barrett, Pink Floyd, it is where they absolutely found their feet.
Found the merger.
Yup. And yup. And it's the most like quintessentially Pink Floyd song. I said this in our albums video. It feels like when you think of Pink Floyd, you just think of like maybe an extended track with these blur of genres, whether it's bluesy, jazzy,
agreed,
folky. You got all of it in this song, and then you've got the sonic exploration as well, which makes you feel like you're trapped in an underwater labyrinth. It's great.
Good description.
The whole song
Sam.
just feels like underwater psychedelia, and I love it. I love the sonar sort of feel of the piano key, the ominous start, and then when it returns, you can just kiss the mic.
Kiss the mic by accident. I think I was like falling asleep and I just ate the microphone by accident.
Yeah.
So, you're not that boring.
You need an echo scream to wake you up.
Yeah, that would. Yeah.
Yeah, that would shoot you back and you bang your head on the.
It even scares me when I hear you listening to it through the wall. I hear it's still scary.
It's probably scary through the walls actually.
Yeah, because
you feel like someone's coming to get you.
What's Sam doing in there?
No, but I think it's more of a piece of art to marvel at.
Yeah.
I will admit the replay value on it is not as high as something like Wish You Were Here, even though that's landing below it. It's so hard to compare like a song like Echoes to Wish You Were Here. We've been saying this in preparation for the video. It's so hard to compare some of these songs.
Yeah.
For this one, it's not necessarily replay value because it could just be almost like an album in itself. You've got so many different sounds.
The journey in itself.
Absolutely. So I don't mind the sonic exploration in the second half, but I do prefer it when they're just jamming out. That bit before when they're just jamming out feels sort of like they're almost like busking somewhere. Yeah. They're just jamming out, letting it flow. And it's just an absolute masterpiece. There's not many like 20-minute plus songs that can keep you engaged all the way through.
Yeah, that's true.
And that is just amazing. And when the sort of atmospheric, almost triumphant guitars come back in after, you just feel like almost like you've just done some massive achievement, whether it's like climb Mount Everest or done like a marathon or something.
Because you've gone through that middle section of a scary cave and come out in a
it's literally like that.
Party.
It feels like you've been rewarded and it's just such a triumphant ending. It's great. I can't praise it enough. I think maybe it lands a little bit lower than it might on some other people's lists because this is a lot of people's favourite Pink Floyd song. I appreciate it massively and artistically wise and technically wise can easily back it being higher. It's more the replay value of it that brings it down a little bit. Oh my God, you do need an echo screen to wake you up. Yeah. Anyway, your number, and I always mess up the numbers, but it is your number 7, isn't it?
Well done.
Amazeballs.
This is where I've got us and them.
Oh, I'm glad to see it on your list, actually. I'm not sure if it will make it. Okay, good.
I agree with you. Potentially, I'm fairly sure is best saxophone moment or song. There is good saxophone moments in songs that aren't just saxophone. But this is definitely best saxophone. I can't think of I don't think there is. Is there any other Pink Floyd songs that are that saxophone-y?
No, they're more like solos, whether you've got like Money or Shining You Crazy Diamonds.
Yeah.
But this is woven throughout, so.
My favourite thing about it is just the softly spoken vocals.
Definitely.
Are beautiful. Who is it?
Gilmour.
Is it?
Yeah, David.
Okay. I thought
David.
So. The fact that he does it so soft makes him sound more like Richard, I think.
Yeah, but there are them moments like on like A Pillow of Winds and stuff where it is David, but he does have that nice soft tone. Also, later voice. Pink Floyd, you see it more on the Division Bell.
Yeah,
his voice is so soft.
Yeah,
I love it, but then it can be so aggressive.
Yeah,
but it is David.
Just a beautiful song. There's nothing more to say. It's perfect. Can you remember that time? I don't remember my first time listening to it, I don't think. But I remember that one time when you were at mine, and I think it was your first time listening to it.
Yeah.
Because it was after you'd bought me the vinyl.
Yes, no, I do remember that actually. Because I think for a bit of that period of time, I think I said that was my favourite Pink Floyd song.
Yeah, I think so.
In general.
I just remember receiving videos of you just like asleep on your bed.
Yeah, just
listening to it.
Absolutely soaking it up and floating away to them echoed vocals like I was mentioning.
That's the best. It's just a beautiful song.
Yeah.
And it goes from softly beautiful to a massive, beautiful sound. And it's good.
Definitely
it's just
agree.
So good.
We've got it around similar spots to be fair as well, which is we're agreeing, which is absolutely fine.
I'm interested to see number 6 because I've got an idea of what was going to be kind of making just in the top 10. And I've got an idea of what's going to be around the 1 spot, but kind of making in the middle. I'm having some trouble with predicting, so what's it going to be? Number 6.
Guess the album.
Oh, I think Stay in Dark Side.
Correct.
Wait, can I guess?
Yeah.
I think it's Money or Time, but I think it'll be Time because I think you'll have Money higher.
Okay.
So I'm saying Time.
It's Money.
Okay.
So it's Money, and also for a period of time, this was my favourite Pink Floyd song.
Boom, 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 boom.
Absolutely. You know what? I normally slate you for just like performing the instruments, but so valid. A 7/4 time signature should not be so easy to just dance to. It should be awkward, but it's got some swagger about it. I love it, and it makes me feel like I actually have loads of money just in my pockets, and I'm just waltzing about like on top of the world. And then when it switches to the 4/4 time signature for David Gilmour's guitar solo, and you just like, it feels so complete. It almost speeds up as well in tempo.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
That guitar solo is absolutely amazing. The saxophone solo sounds like an elephant just at a party. It's absolutely just like, oh yeah. It's so good. Oh yeah. It's just, oh yeah.
Yeah, mommy.
And really, really great chorus again. More of the aggressive David side, but this is a prime example of where his gruff vocals are just
bit great. Yeah.
It's really like captivating.
Yeah.
But this is one of the ones in terms of replay value probably should land higher.
Yeah.
I just think, and this isn't to its detriment, it's maybe just not as ambitious as some of the ones that I have above it, which is maybe why I don't have it higher, but still it is a very ambitious song, like incorporating sax, guitar, 7/4 time signature.
The noise of coins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which David Gilmour had to film, record with like an over like 20-foot tape recording or something that they wrapped around microphone and stands in the studio. That's the thing that, I know this doesn't really add to the song, but just when you get the backstory about some of these things, this adds more to the albums and stuff.
Helps you appreciate it more.
Yeah, it helps you just sort of be like, wow. Because this is the 70s as well, and some of the studio innovation that went on is genius. So to make such a good, timeless song, like most of the ones in the top 10 out, they have a lot of timeless material, but Money's still a banger to this day. I don't think I'll ever get sick of that song.
No.
Number 6 for me.
Okay.
Number 6 for you.
And again, repeating you, a bit of an echo in here. Echoes.
Okay, so you're just like one behind me, I know. Oh no, well you've ranked them one ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, again, can't be mad.
Same as what I said on when we did our album thing. It's the way that the band conducts tension on this one is definitely the best because it goes in so many. Pink Floyd songs, the long ones, do have a lot of different directions where they change in kind of pace and sound, but not to this extent. That sonic exploration in the middle, going from the start to the end, just that middle section, it genuinely makes me anxious.
Oh, definitely.
When I listen to it, I'm actually like uncomfortable. And it's the most tough to reach payoff ever. But when it pays off, it pays off.
Yes.
Great. And such an interesting thing to do with the whole Medal album as well, to have the first half being multiple songs and the second half being all one song. Absolutely great decision.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Could fully get behind that.
Yeah. Again, I just love the sound and the sonics of all parts of Medal, even Seamus.
Don't stop bringing Seamus up. You're doing so well. You talk about echoes.
Just sonically, it's just such a rich track at all points of it, from the higher parts to the more weird, mellow parts. It's just such a sonically beautiful album, and a song specifically.
Yeah, because it feels like an album. That's the thing.
It does.
It's hard to talk about Echoes as like a song because it feels like so much more
I always
than
call
that.
Medal Echoes.
Yeah, well, I think you probably aren't the only one because it's such a standout, and that is my thing. Not to get into the album of it too much, but Echoes does for me feel like such a level above some of the other songs.
Yeah.
Even if some of the other songs are still great songs, Medal is just a level above.
Yeah.
It just feels like, I know you regard Medal high, but could you agree that Echoes does just feel like that wow factor of the album?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's hard to argue.
It's definitely. Yeah, it's literally half of it.
I know.
Yeah,
but like that could be to its detriment as well. Like if the song didn't keep you engaged.
Yeah,
but it absolutely does.
Yeah.
And for my number 5. Another bit of a long song.
Yeah.
Shining Your Crazy Diamond, parts 1 to 5.
1 to 5. Okay.
1 to 5.
1 to 5. 1 to 5. Okay.
And what I've done is, because realistically, I think both of these Shining Your Crazy Diamond, both of the parts could make my top 10. But what I've done is I've picked my favourite just so I don't take up another spot. That's what I've done with mine. I love the second part as well. And I've been on and off whether I prefer this part 6 to 9. But I have made the decision parts 1 to 5 are better. And I think that's the more like general consensus anyway.
Yeah, I think that's a hot take.
It's easily, for me, without a shadow of a doubt, Pink Floyd's best intro. And I know it maybe doesn't have some of the competition to compete with it, like Speak to Me, Pigs on the Wing and stuff, aren't meant to be as sort of grandiose as Shine On You Crazy Diamond. Great message about Sid. Also, I like the fact that Shine On You Crazy Diamond spells out Sid as an anagram. Is that what it is? Like, Shine On You Crazy Diamond.
That spells sued.
No, it's got Sid's name in the title though.
Yeah,
it's not like an anagram.
Yeah.
Also, it wouldn't because it's got a C, so it wouldn't be sued. It would be
Shine On
You.
Yeah.
Oh, would you say
sooked?
Sooked. There you go.
We.
This is the least relevant
Let's
argument
move on
ever.
anyway.
Incredible, just guitar solos and sax solos. Here, the sax is absolutely phenomenal as well. I love the little tempo shifts in the song as well. When it speeds up, it just feels like it's got a bit more of like a danceability, but the rest of the time it's just nice. Like you can lose yourself in it. It's just great. And then a great chorus again, easily probably top 5 choruses of Pink Floyd's discography.
Yeah, that's probably a valid take.
And it's just kind of relatable. You just feel like you as a Pink Floyd fan, I feel like you sort of miss Sid with it. And also the first iconic guitar turn notes, the boom, 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 feels like Sid's ghost is just like through the studio.
That's a way to say it.
And he did actually turn up while they were recording it in the studio, which sort of adds to it as well.
We're just talking about that. I don't know what it makes me feel, but it's got like, it's chilling, but it's also like euphoric and also magical. When I hear that, when it comes on, you just have that feeling through your body, and it's like exciting, but it's also really emotional. It's I know it's a bit far-fetched, but it feels like all the emotions of that album, the whole album, are just kind of foreshadowed with just that one little lick.
I can easily get behind that.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
I think.
Yay.
It's just my favorite. It's my favorite style of Pink Floyd intro, where it slowly fades in.
Yeah.
Slowly fades in, and then you get the iconic guitar notes there, and you just know you're in for a treat.
Yeah.
You know you're in for a treat. Like you said, it sort of encapsulates everything. Kind of similar to Speak to Me does as a song, because it's got all the parts of each of the other songs, but it's just in that riff.
Yeah.
It's just, it's amazing. Anyway,
this is like, that note is like foreshadowing. Like it doesn't tell you what's going to happen, but makes you like, you've got a feeling about it.
Yeah.
Whereas Speak to Me is more like a prelude. Is it prelude? Prelude? I don't know what it is.
Yeah, prelude, it's like a highlights reel.
Because it actually kind of just gives you like just a few bits of what's coming. Yeah. Anyway.
You're number 5, halfway through. Let's go.
My number 5. It's also Shine On You Crazy Diamond, parts 1 to 5.
I can't believe how similar these are.
I know. This is weird.
Because I haven't even been here. I've been up in Durham. I've not even been here to talk to you about it, so we haven't even
It's not been the same as like before other episodes where we've been like, I can't even speak to you about it.
Yeah, I know, but I literally haven't even been in touch with you, so it's odd. But I think from this point onwards, we'll start to see a lot of differences.
Same reasons. No, I actually don't. I don't know.
No, we will. We will start to see a couple of differences.
Yeah, but genuinely, I think there'll be like 1. Anyway.
Maybe. Go on.
Yeah, genuinely same reasons. That one note, and then the...
Yeah.
Just, I need to describe that without making noises. It's such a great build into just... I don't even know how to describe it. Pink Floyd is such a hard band to describe because you can't put a finger on some things.
And a lot of the time, they take on different lights whenever you listen to it. Like, sometimes that song can be just like, oh, what a great groove, and you can sort of just like move around to it. Other times you're just like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow, I'm really sort of on edge right now.
It's the same. It's just it's perfect Floyd where it's just rich, instrumentally, lyrically, sonically, everything.
Literally everything.
Beautiful song. I agree. This is Pink Floyd's best intro.
Yeah. It's better than one of these days.
And then it's one of these days after this, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Numero.
I feel like I'm stealing the show a bit because you're kind of just agreeing with the things. Like,
yeah, I know. Because you're saying it first. I'm like, yeah, I agree. Yeah. I can't just repeat you.
Well, at least we won't waffle on for too long. Unless you throw an absolute scorcher in, which I feel like might be coming at some point. Anyway, my number 4.
Yeah.
We're going to see Comfortably Numb.
Okay.
It's going at number 4.
Yeah.
I think this is Pink Floyd's best chorus ever. It's so catchy. I'm singing it all day, but also like, this is one of them examples where the concept, like On the Wall, for example, where the concept is sometimes a little bit overbearing. This song is one of the best rock songs of all time. I don't mind saying that. With one of the best guitar solos of all time. My personal favourite Pink Floyd guitar solo of all time. Yeah. Of all time. But it's genuinely, this song is in that status. But it doesn't let the concept like ruin the song.
Yeah.
And not that the concept ruins the other songs, but this song, you can listen to it in its own right. This song has absolutely got so much replay value.
Yeah.
It's a good crowd pleaser as well. There's not many people that just sort of would be like, oh, I hate this song. That unless you dislike Pink Floyd anyway. It's not too out there. It's pretty simple and effective.
Yeah.
But it just does the job. And it really fits the album as well. And I love the scene in the film, which I know doesn't count for this, but really unique concept for this song though. If you just listen to it in its own right, you probably won't get that much out of the writing on it. And you don't need to, because the song's just amazing sonically. And it's about how Roger Waters had like hepatitis or something before a show, and he got like injected with a tranquilizer and was still like made to perform, but he couldn't lift his arms.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really good concept that you don't need to unlock it, but when you do, it pushes it up, which is why it is top 5. It's top 4 for me.
Yep.
It's just amazing. What a great song.
Yep. My number 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to know? Yeah. I can not.
I feel like it's going to be Comfortably Numb.
It's not.
Okay.
It's Dogs.
Okay. Good take.
Yeah. One of my favourite Gilmour vocal performances. Full stop. I said the same thing on the album's video. The way they kind of, I think it's probably a 12-string acoustic.
It is, yeah.
Builds in. Come on. Just builds slowly with that nice synth ambience, which, as I've said it again, I much prefer Pink Floyd synths as a background, not as a lead.
Yeah.
And it works so well. And then it's the same thing. Same effect as Shine on You Crazy Diamond, parts 1 to 5. How can just one lick on a guitar have so much feeling in it? It's so good.
Absolutely.
It's weeping. It sounds like it's crying. And it makes me sound like I'm crying because I am.
He's getting emotional over Dogs.
I love it. It's definitely one of Pink Floyd's best songs, Comfortably. Numb. Wait.
I could see that coming a mile off. As soon as you said Comfortably, I knew you were going to try and weave the joke in.
But yeah, top 4 Comfortably. I'm almost a little bit sad that it didn't make the podium because it's really hard. This is from here, genuinely interchangeable from here.
I'm not going to lie.
However, interchangeable from number 10.
Yeah, my whole top 10 is almost interchangeable.
I'm still, when we get, yeah.
I know, like, in the bit where the instrumental's fully going, you've got the drums, got the rhythm, the synth plays a bit more of a background role.
Yeah.
But there is that synth breakdown in the middle bit where it is sort of screeching a bit more.
Yeah.
Do you still like
this
that?
Is the thing. Small doses.
Okay.
See, this is why I have a little bit of a problem with Welcome to the Machine, because it just feels pure synth. I know it isn't, obviously there's more to it, but it's just a bit too much for me, that's all.
Yeah, I'm never going to get behind that take, but I think it is just a personal preference as well.
Yeah.
I'm definitely more of a Sims guy than you, but glad to see Dogs there. That is a good take. So that's your number 4.
Yes, it is.
Well, we've switched roles because number 3 is Dogs for me.
Fabulous. Okay.
It's top 3 for me because I find this easiest to compare to Echoes. Obviously still so different, but it's more of just a duration thing.
Yeah.
This one has replay value throughout the whole song.
Yeah, agreed.
Whereas Echoes, like you said, it gets a little bit scary in that second half. This is just violent, it's brutal, it's honest throughout. You've still got the conceptual elements like the dogs barking and the bit that you were scared of we were going to get demonetized for. When you get the chance to put the knife in and that weeping guitar.
Yeah, then you start going, I'm just stopping to put the knife in.
It wasn't that brutal. Anyway,
watch the video, you'll see he was getting a bit too into the role.
It's not been taken down, so we're all right. But that bit...
No one's seen it.
That might be the case.
Yeah.
But that weeping guitar there is like the victim is being stabbed. Don't get too hurt by that. You have it top 4. You can't argue with me.
Yeah,
we're literally agreeing. We can't start falling out over an agreement.
But we can't. We need to have a bit.
We need
more,
to have just a bit of an
more
argument.
fire. We're called the Scorching Hot Takes podcast. We can't be called the. Oh, we just agree on everything all the time.
Friendly guys that agree with each other.
A couple of friendly guys agreeing. Yeah, podcast.
Mock
Carry on.
musical instruments.
Yeah.
Again, love what it does in the concept of the album.
Yeah.
Up there with Roger's best. David Gilmour's best performance, but Roger in the second half as well absolutely kills it. I like the contrast between the two, also because you've got such a big gap between them, you don't quite even notice the difference.
Yeah,
but it's just like an ambitious and innovative song as well. Like, to go for 17 minutes and sort of explore so much territory, but then get
so
back,
much in that 17 minutes as well.
But then you get back to that chorus again.
Yeah.
And it's just like familiar, but it's like almost like a scary reminder of the society you live in. It just there's so much to this song. I get so much out of it every single time I listen to it.
Yeah.
And it's just great in the sequence of the album as well.
Yeah.
So it has to be top 3 for me. But fourth, I'm not going to be too mad.
No, okay. Making the podium at number 3. Money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised, and I can't really argue.
I've got it up here. Again, this is why it's interchangeable, because it actually is perfect. Easily a 10. There is nothing on this song that isn't done perfectly. The concept behind it, perfect. The portrayal of that in the lyrics, perfect. Lyrics matching the instrumental and the groove, perfect. Drums, absolutely ridiculous. Bass line, physically couldn't be better.
Absolutely. One of the best of all time. Throw that out there.
The build into when it turns into 4, that guitar and just...
Yeah.
It's so...
I recognise that face. You do that face a lot when it comes on. Yep. That's familiar.
And then saxophone and guitar, just both, thank you for being there.
Cheers. Cheers, guys.
And then just go back into... From that middle section with the saxophone and the guitar solos... back into the same thing as we had in the intro, back with the groovy drums and bass, and then just back into that. It literally is perfect. There is nothing, it's like what you said about Echoes, it's quintessentially Pink Floyd, but less in the big, huge kind of journey of a song, and more in terms of a Pink Floyd hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is one of their biggest hits anyway, but easily one of their best hits as well. Actually, to be honest, like, their hits, I don't really have a problem with any of them. Like some other bands, like a Radiohead one we spoke about. I don't really like Creep anyway, not just because it's big.
Not really.
I don't have that problem with Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
I don't have that problem.
We'll see if something doesn't make my top next 2.
Yeah.
I think I've only got 2 places left. There is a lot that I haven't said yet. Same with you though, to be fair.
But you can't fit it all into the 10. This is why it's brutal. And when we reveal my number 1, you're gonna realise some that haven't made it, and gonna.
I know, but I think mine's worse because I've got a Pillar of Winds in there, and there's gonna be stuff that should.
No, but I feel like a Pillar of Winds actually isn't bad to have in. Just because it's not my taste, it's not. There's nothing wrong with the song. It's just personal preference.
You'll see at some point. Anyway.
Oh, okay. We're just agreeing so much. Anyway, I don't even think you'll back my. Yeah. Anyway, so my number 2 is Sheep.
Okay.
It's their best rocker, like I said, in the album's video. I also have a feeling that this might be appearing in yours. So I'll try not to say too much. Just the things I get most out of it is the drums are absolutely thrashing. The bass line is galloping. The different guitar segments as well on this song.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels like a tree's falling down and you need to scream like timber. And then the outro, it's like this glorious parade as if when the sheep have rebelled, overthrown the dogs. And it's like this glorious parade as it just fades out. And is the last of the big hitters on Animals. And also, it is so genius how Roger's vocals just blend into that synth and genuinely is up there for one of my favorite just like musical moments of all time. I wish this happened more.
Yeah.
Like, I love it when you get it in songs where like it might like vocals will like blend into a guitar solo or something. Like on Lucky, for example. Radiohead, as we've already spoken about that.
Cheers. Yeah.
There you go. Stuff like that I love, but this where it repeats. You get it over and over again, and each time the synth's slightly different. Sometimes it's more wobbly, and also it's just like it feels like just like electric. The way it's just sort of like fizzling around. It's great, and I love performing this at kitchen discos as well. Absolutely great one. Just holding that note as the synth comes in. And after having a few as well, you think you can sing it way better than you can. It is great. Also love the religious sort of elements of this as well, bringing in the religious speech. It's really adds to the concept. All of Matt Animals placements, as we know now, all the big hitters from Animals have made it. Animals being my spoiler alert, top Pink Floyd album. Each of these songs have such a unique identity that they add to the album, but can be played in their own right as songs themselves. That all of them deserve to make it, and this is my favorite of the bunch. This is my favorite, and it's top 2.
Okay. Well, one thing that you should mention is the very end section of Sheep. Yeah, but not enough.
All right.
Because that is why it's number 2 for me as well. That guitar section at the end, it's really similar to the Run Like Hell tone, which is probably it genuinely is my favourite kind. It's kind of jangly, which is kind of... I'm much more of a jangly guitar guy than a not jangly guitar.
That was really great explanation. More like a rough sort of... It's harder...
Something... I'm trying to think
drier
of like
guitar. You don't like dry guitar.
It's not even... No, because it's not like it's a very wet noise. It's like... I'm trying to think of it. Stuff on the wall, like some guitars.
That's what I mean, like dry guitar tones.
Stuff like maybe like on In the Flesh or something. I don't think it's dryness or dampness. I think it's more just... This is a bit more shimmery.
Yeah.
But also, it's got shimmery grit. It's like shiny sand.
Nice. I actually think I also do prefer these types of guitar tones that we're not describing very well at all.
No.
I think you much less prefer maybe, as I describe it, drier guitar tone, a bit more rough around the edges. I think you prefer them less than me. But Sheep, go on. If you've got anything else to add, hit me with it.
Same thing as you. That this is why my perfect use of synths in a Pink Floyd song, because I don't like too much of a lead, but when it does the vocals into the synth, but then it gets cut off with just that stab of distortion. It's literally perfect. It's the same thing. It's really hard to talk about these songs. It's not like I can give it a massive I have to come up with really I don't have to come up with reasons to back up any controversial opinions because it's all just actually true. They all are perfect. And also they know better than us. They know what they're doing and why stuff's there and how it makes. They're the geniuses behind it. We can't understand that. So we just have to say, it's really good.
I think as well, part of the problem with doing like this video is if to really dissect a song like Sheep, a song like Dogs,
it takes so long.
You'd need at least like half an hour for each. Like if you wanted to get into the concept.
If we get short on video ideas, we'll just do entire song breakdowns.
Absolutely down for that. I could talk about all of Animals for absolutely ages. And just another thing just about that as well. I think this is also I don't know if I mentioned this in my bit, but one of Roger's best performances.
Yeah.
He genuinely sounds insane on the song. When it comes back in, after the religious sort of interlude bit, when it comes back in and he does that scream with the distorted guitar, absolute thrash, and he does that screaming laugh, you're just like, oh my God, he really means everything he's saying, and you're just like, oh, all right, I won't fucking mess with you, Roger. But yeah, it's amazing. Glad we agree on it again. These lists are so similar.
Weird that we've agreed. I
know what your number one is though now. I've worked it out. I'm not going to say what it is.
Okay, well, it's you next anyway. I know what yours is.
Yeah. My number one.
Welcome to the fucking bin.
Wait.
Sorry.
My number one, this might be a hot take, is Welcome to the Machine. I know you're not going to agree with that, but in terms of concept as well, although Pink Floyd songs have all, for the most part, aged really well, a lot of their best material is classed as timeless because it's still so relevant today. But this one more than ever. About the false promises in the music industry. Yeah. We've got artists sort of rebelling about that right now. People like James Blake speaking out about it. Chapel Rowan recently spoke about it in her speech too. It's so relevant right now, and it almost feels like nothing's changed, but it makes the messaging of the song even more impactful because 50 years ago, and it's 50 years this year, that it came out.
Oh.
Even 50 years ago, these same issues were so apparent and relevant. And I know this took away from the song for you in terms of how the Sonics did what they were supposed to, because you felt that the concept maybe took over a bit too much. I completely disagree with that. I think the way that the bass is just chugging, it never drops, but it's a chugging journey like a cog. You feel like you're in a repetitive cycle. Welcome to the Machine, metaphorical for the music industry. You're in this cycle, you can't escape it. The use of more electronic sounds like the synths and stuff, making it feel more mechanically put together, is perfect. And this, hot take, is my favourite use of synths on any song ever. I think it's the best synth work. It's my favourite synth tone ever. And I know you disagree. Whatever.
I get why you think it. I'm more of a guitar guy than a synth guy.
Every time those synths hit, I just get zapped. It doesn't matter how many times I listen to that song. Every time they hit, I'm just like, oh! Well, that was probably not the best thing to do. But in terms of like, you feel like you almost get like a static shock, but then you're just like, oh.
And then you go,
oh! Yeah. You get like a static shock, but then you know that it wasn't that deep after all. But then the next blast comes in and I'm like, again. Yeah, absolutely amazing. One of David's other like best performances, so passionate and it feels desperate. Even though it's written from the perspective of like an A&R or a label executive, you get the desperation almost of someone that's fallen victim to this, like obviously Pink Floyd sort of.
It is a very doomy song.
Yeah. And then you sort of see the other side through David's vocals. That's what I get of it as well, as like, they're so desperate to like pull you into this machine. But then at the same time, once you've sort of fallen victim to it, you're so desperate to get out, but you just can't. And then that beautifully goes into Have a Cigar on the same topic. And Have a Cigar unfortunately didn't make it, but them two together have aged amazingly in terms of the concept. But just in terms of what I prefer, Welcome to the Machine is my favourite Pink Floyd song. It is absolutely amazing.
I do have huge appreciation for it in terms of concept and some aspects of it. It's just a bit too synthy for me. That's the only thing that means it's not in there.
I think a lot of these songs we have ranked like we both highly regard a lot of these songs. More just a personal preference. Like A Pillow of Winds, like I said, don't have a problem with it, but it's just not my favourite thing. Same with you, Welcome to the Machine.
Do you reckon the mics are picking up them tunes, by the way?
Yeah, I can keep hearing it. Someone's listening to not Pink Floyd. It sounds fucking terrible.
It's absolutely horrid. It's ruining the vibe.
I hope the mics aren't picking them up, because this will look like we've put some terrible background music on, and it's like I'm on about Welcome to the Machine. And
let us know what you think of the background music.
I don't think it'll pick up, to be fair. These mics are pretty good, but number one.
What do you think I'm saying?
Time.
Yeah, correct.
Time is your number one, and it's completely valid.
One of the best songs of all time, if not the best song of all time. I know that's...
Whoa! Yeah. Whoa!
I know.
Are you going to bang me because I don't have it in my top 10?
I'm not happy about it. I don't get how.
So for me, I'll let you get into it.
My fucking number one. Listen, all the reasons that you've given for other songs, completely valid. But the reasons that you've given, this song is better at. Slightly. Because it's all interchangeable still. I just think this, because it's the same thing. It's the quintessential Pink Floyd. Everything about it is perfect. Concept. It's the same as what I said about... I don't even remember which song I said that about.
Money?
Yes, it was Money. Every aspect of it is done perfectly Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
And
I don't disagree.
The only reason that I've got it here is because I feel like, as much as, because all of these songs are done perfectly, I just think for me, this is the one that resonates most and has the most feeling that it gives me.
Yeah. Completely agree. And this was originally in my top 10. And taking it out is just, I'm annoyed that I can't have it in. I've just got to be brutal. For me, and I can't actually pick it downsides.
Yeah.
only thing
I know what you're gonna say. The
is
the TikTok coming into it.
The bells at the start, but it doesn't take away because in the concept of the album, just in its own song.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't argue. It should be in my top 10. It was the one that I was most upset for not having in there.
Yeah.
As well as Run Like Hell, that was also in consideration.
My favourite point, I think, right now, just to hype him up a little bit, is the Richard Wright sections.
Is your favourite of the whole parts of the song?
I think so, yeah.
They are beautiful. Can't knock it.
They're absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
They're the bits that get that.
Yeah.
And I just love the concept and the message and the lyricism of that. And then again, obviously, because it's Pink Floyd instrumentally, it's just absolutely magnificent.
I just think for some of the songs, the reason I'd argue Money over it, it's a bit more of a...
That was very difficult.
Yeah. For me, Money's got a more dynamic performance. You've got the saxophone in there.
Yeah.
The guitar solos, hard to call, both maybe arguably on par.
Yeah.
Like, for their own different reasons. But I just think maybe a bit more of a dynamic performance on Money.
Yeah. Okay.
But I would argue that I actually prefer the concept on Time, though. This is the thing. It's all swings and roundabouts. I could argue, like, some things, it's a toss-up, because elements I prefer of that. The writing is one of my favourite written Pink Floyd songs.
Yeah.
And when Richard Wright, like you were mentioning at the end, when he breaks the fourth wall, and it's just such like a nice just commentary for the album as well, and then going into The Great Gig in the Sky. I think I prefer it just more in terms of when I listen to it in the album.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's done it a little bit injustice.
Yeah.
That I've listened to it as its own song in preparation for this video.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it should make it, but
I know.
it hasn't.
Would it be like 11th or like how far down track it is?
But
100% top 20.
It could be easily 5th though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Making this list has been an absolute ball ache. It's been terrible.
It's been a nightmare. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, the only reason I've got that is the same as you. I agree, Money is maybe a more dynamic performance, but I've put Time above because I feel like as a music listener, it resonating is much more important to me than it just being a dynamic banger.
Yeah.
Not even much more. I'm making it sound like there's extremes. There is literally nothing between anything on this list other than what order I wrote it down in because it's impossible.
I think we literally agree. Like I was saying, I prefer the writing on Time, but arguably Money is a bit more of a hit.
Yeah.
The Time is still absolutely digging away. There's mine for the video, and that'll be probably where we end it.
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
We'll talk.
All right, we're not ending it there.
We're going to talk about the fact that I don't have Comfortably Numb in there. Is that not controversial?
Oh, yeah. Wait, hang on. Let's actually just think about something
that's what we need to do.
out.
I don't want to end the video yet because we actually need to discuss
absolutely
this.
Fine. Cool. Wait, so
this is why I
like
said
a Pillow of Winds
I prefer to Comfortably Numb. Guitar solo, everything about it. This is the thing though. I think Comfortably Numb probably would be 11th or 12th. What were my other contenders?
Wish You Were Here, the song didn't make it.
Yeah, those two were. There's also Serious Minor.
Is that actually in consideration?
The first song on More would be on there.
For your third highest Pink Floyd album, The Piper at the Gates of Dawn, no mentions of any songs.
Interstellar Overdrive. Which is
why I think that is a fucking bullshit take.
No, it's not, because the thing is, Interstellar Overdrive and Bike were also contenders. But the thing is, that album is probably for me Pink Floyd's most consistently good album. Even the masterpieces, like we said when we were talking about Wish You Were Here, All the Sims on Welcome to the Machine, kind of dumb it down a little bit for me. On Animals, Pigs, there's moments of it that just aren't my preferred. Don't like the talk box guitar that much. Don't like the slow rhythm as much. So you know what I'm saying? Like, even the reason when we did the albums, I had Medal and The Piper at the Gates of Dawn above Animals and Wish You Were Here is because they had a more consistent, whereas Wish You Were Here and Animals have higher highs, which have made this. Yeah, that's my reason.
Couldn't disagree more, but
because what it would be, it's the best of the albums here, and then it would be literally like the full of The Piper at the Gates of Dawn, and then the worst of these albums.
That makes sense, actually. Yeah, fair enough. Other ones,
Serious Mine is a hot take, being top 15.
Yeah, that is quite hot. Yeah, that is quite hot.
I love it though.
But it didn't make your top 10, so
neither of us with Another Brick in the Wall.
I don't think Pink Floyd fans have that high though. That's more of like an everyone regards it as one of the best songs. It's more of an impactful song as well. Like,
what else have we not got in there? Have a Cigar. Neither of us have got that.
That's also knocking around the just the top 10 mark for me. Like that Run Like Hell I mentioned isn't quite there for me.
Yeah.
Probably.
Love
I
that
think my favorite type of Pink Floyd stuff is when it's really dynamic. You get a bit of everything.
Yeah.
And I think you can probably see that from my list. But certain moments, like a Run Like Hell, just isn't quite stand out enough.
Yeah.
But it is such a banger.
Yeah. This is why I said it's so difficult to make this list.
It's such a hard list.
That was the change that I made just before, was bumping down Wish You Were Here and Uncomfortably Numb.
Yeah. I'm surprised you don't have either of those in, because I feel like they like kind of your thing as well.
Both some of my favourite Pink Floyd songs. That's why it's so difficult.
It's a ridiculous thing to do.
Because this is the thing, when we do the things where we order them and we have a first and last position, all of a sudden we makes it seem like we don't like what we've put last.
I know, it feels like...
Yeah, it's difficult.
Because you get almost, not like worried, but you're a bit like, oh, that's so controversial not to have in my top 10.
But I'm not worried about pissing anyone off, I'm worried about annoying myself.
Yeah, that's the thing for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you don't actually mean that's 15th in their catalogue.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, well, yeah, but all these 15 are interchangeable and you don't know what to do. Anyway, anything else to say, or shall I?
I don't think so.
Great
give us your your top 10 Pink Floyd songs in the comments, and let us know what you think of ours. Because feel free to have some strong opinions, because they're an easy band to have strong opinions on.
Definitely. But I think for the most part, our songs we've agreed on way more than the albums.
Yeah.
We're much more of an albums band, though.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like
definitely.
Also, a lot of these songs that have made my list are so much better in the context of the albums. So, but let us know your lists. I'm quite interested to see some. I'm quite interested. I don't think I'll see Welcome to the Machine at the top of any of us.
We could do some reviews of lists. We could do like a lists review or something.
Let's see if we get enough comments for that. Yeah. Help us out, guys. Anyone that watches this, leave your list below. Yeah. Even if you've never listened to Pink Floyd, just mention some of the songs that we've mentioned, or just like, I don't know, go Google them and just drop them in there so we can make a video out of it. Like, subscribe, let us know your list. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you, guys. Pizza time.